Hi you guys! So today I am very excited because I am going to be filming my best of 2017 video. I have a ton of stuff to show you guys, from fragrance to hair care to skincare to obviously makeup. I also want to say please excuse me, I'm getting over a little bit of a cold. Might still sound a tiny bit congested, so I just wanted to give you a little warning on that. So before I make this intro too long, since this video I know for sure is going to be a long one, let's go ahead and jump on in. So I'm going to go ahead and start out with skincare first. My favorite makeup wipes I have been using this year, they have been the same for a little over a year now. But I did not mention these in my Best of Beauty last year, but these are the Neutrogena Makeup Remover Cleansing Towelettes. These are my favorite makeup remover wipes. My mom, my sister, and me all use them. I just feel like they do a really good job at getting makeup off. They do a good job at getting waterproof makeup off. These are always just my go-to makeup wipes. So next we're going to go ahead and move on to cleansers. My top two would be the Boscia Detoxifying Black Cleanser. I love this one. While you're lathering this into the skin, it gives a warm sensation and it just really feels like it's getting in there and getting all those impurities out. I really like this, and it also does a really good job at getting off any excess makeup that the towelettes maybe did not take off. So this one I love. And then the one I've been using most recently for about the last 3 or 4 months is this little guy. This is the Purity Made Simple by Philosophy. It is just the one-step facial cleanser, and I love this cleanser. It's just very simple. I just use it after I take off my makeup, and I just love this guy. He does such a good job at keeping my skin clear. My skin is honestly the best it's been in so long, and I think he's definitely been helping out with that a lot. So next I'm going to talk about some moisturizers. These two have been the most used for me of 2017. The first one is the Tarte Drink of H2O Moisturizer. I love this one. This was my go-to over the summer, as you could see. Well, maybe you can't see, but it is basically empty in there. This was definitely my favorite moisturizer to use in the summertime because my skin gets incredibly oily over the summer. So this is the perfect amount of moisture to kind of counteract that excess oil I'm getting. It's so cooling on the skin. It doesn't leave like a really sticky residue or anything. It just soaks up in the skin immediately. And the other one I like a lot is the Revitalizing Black Hydration Gel. I actually mentioned this moisturizer last year in my Best of Beauty 2016 video, but they have changed the packaging since then, and I love this packaging so much more because while the old packaging was very cool and I liked how you pump it up and you get the perfect amount, that pump on the top would break on me all the time, and then I'd still have a ton of product left over, but it'd be hard to get in there. It was not a fun time. But this one still has the pump, so you get that perfect amount right on your hand right there. Usually I'll use between 1 to 2 pumps, and then you just rub it into the skin, and it is so cooling. And because it is a gel, it just blends into the skin perfectly. But yeah, this is a very cooling, hydrating moisturizer, and it's perfect for anyone who has oily skin. And finally, for skincare, I'm just going to mention one mask. I did have a lot of masks that I liked this year, but my biggest standout one was this guy right here, and this is the Glamglow Supermud. This mask is so good. As you can see, I've used this like crazy. This little guy right here is so amazing for when you're having any kind of breakouts. I will use him for spot treating. I'll use him as an all-over mask when I feel like my skin just needs something to clear it up. If I'm ever having a bad breakout after I use my cleanser, I'll put this guy on for a little bit. And the next day I will just see such a difference in the size of any kind of breakouts I'm having. It definitely does a good job at shrinking them down, toning them down a little bit. If you have any kind of problematic skin, I would definitely recommend this. So let's just go ahead and move on to makeup now, because that is what I have the most of to talk about. Let's go ahead and start out with primers. My number one primer for 2017 was easily the Professional Primer. It just gives your skin that perfect smooth canvas, and it does an amazing job at filling in pores. Because I have oily skin, I also have a tendency to have larger pores. Whenever I feel like my pores are standing out a little more or they're a little bit larger, I always take a little bit more of this and just tap it wherever I see the pores. It always does a great job at covering them up and filling them in a little bit more and making them all ready for the foundation. Move on to some foundations. I have 3 that I want to talk about. One is actually a BB cream, so we'll talk about that one first. I discovered this in May or June of 2017. I can't remember which one. But this is the CoverGirl Clean Matte BB Cream for oily skin. I'm currently in the shade 530. As I've mentioned a million times in this video probably already, I do have oily skin. And in the summertime especially, it's just so much worse. And I just feel like any foundation I use, if it's even a little bit heavy, I just start pooling and it's not cute. So I wanted something that was just going to be breathable. So I thought, oh, well, maybe I'll try a BB cream. But I always felt like BB creams were horrible if you want oily skin. So when I saw this guy, I was just like sold. I was like, matte and for oily skin, you got me. And I fell in love with this. I use this pretty much all summer, but it truly is really covering. I will show you guys right now. So here's the consistency, and then it just blends right into the skin, and it really does a good job of covering. I would definitely call it more of a medium coverage than a light coverage, but you can see it there. Just, it makes the skin look so flawless and so natural. I love this guy. So any oily girls out there who have not been able to find a BB cream that they like, this one is by CoverGirl. It's not that expensive. I believe it's between $8 and $10. You can get it at Target and Ulta and your local drugstore. It's worth it to just give it a try because I really didn't. I was very skeptical of it and I ended up falling in love with it. So next is my higher end foundation, and this is the All Nighter foundation. I did mention this in my 2016 Best of Beauty, but this is definitely still currently one of my favorite more high end foundations. I feel like it does a really good job at just keeping me matte throughout the night, and it stays on so long. It looks beautiful in photos. I talked about this in excess in my last year's video, so I will go ahead and leave that below if you want a little more information about it. But this has continued to be my favorite high-end foundation into 2017, so we'll see about next year. I'm only mentioning this one because it did come out this year, but I've only been using it for about a month now. So I don't know if I could say it's the Best of Beauty, but it did come out this year, so that's why I'm putting it in here. But this is by far my favorite new foundation, and it's drugstore. You guys, this is the Wet n Wild Photo Focus Foundation. I am in the shade Soft Beige. This foundation, I'm wearing it on the skin right now. It looks like a high-end foundation. It's only between $4.99 and $5.99, I think. At least that's what it was for me when I got it on Ulta. And the coverage on this is amazing. In photos, it looks amazing. It really does give you that airbrushed look. I'll say the one thing that is hard to get past with this is the smell. It doesn't smell very good. But once it is on the skin and blended in, you can't smell it at all. So that's something that's not a huge deal to me. It's just that first few seconds when you're applying it to blend it in, it's kind of like, oh yeah, I forgot this does not smell so great. But next is concealers, and no one will be surprised by this. I only have one, and it is the Tarte Shape Tape. I'm actually running low on this. I need to go get another one, but all year this year, this is the only concealer I used. It is just, I don't know what they put in this, but it is amazing. You can watch pretty much any other video that has been done already for Best of 2017. Almost everyone has this in their video again as a repeat because it is just that good. So if you still haven't tried it, go out and try it. It's amazing. The first powder I'm going to talk about is a translucent powder, and it is high-end, but it is the Laura Mercier Translucent Loose Settings Powder. I almost said spray, but I meant powder. It is perfect for baking. It is perfect for setting the face. It gives you such a smooth finish. There's just so many good things to say about this powder. It does wonders for the skin. Then I have 2 regular powders that I used a lot this year, and they are both drugstore. The first one is the Superstay Better Skin Transforming Powder. You can see I almost hit pan on this. I stopped using this one because it did get too dark for me, but all summer long when I was tan, back when I was tan, I was using this baby every single day. It does such a good job at just smoothing the face, and these two together would just be a match made in heaven. I loved this. This is the Neutrogena Skin Clearing Mineral Powder, and I love this. This is what I'll usually put on my face. You can see I totally hit pan here. But this is usually the one I put on my face after my foundation. Very light powder. It doesn't feel super powdery on the skin, and I forgot how much I love this. It's funny because I used to wear this every day in high school. every day, and now I'm back to loving it again. Next, we're gonna go ahead and move on to eyes. So the first thing I'm gonna talk about is my eyeshadow primer, and the best one I used of 2017 by far was the Smashbox lid primer in the shade Light. I used to hear Casey Holmes talk about this all the time because she would always say it's good for oily eyelids, and then I got one that was a small sample size in my Ipsy Glam bag, and I loved it. It does such a good job at keeping shadows on, at keeping them in place. This is wonderful. It's really good for oily eyelids too, I will say. I agree with her statement on that. But I loved it so much that I went out and bought the full-size one, and it's pretty much the only lid primer I've been using the last half of 2017. So I think I'm going to go ahead and talk about eyeshadow palettes next. The first one I'm going to mention was definitely my most used, the first half of 2017. I think I reached for this every time I did eyeshadow, and that is the Anastasia Beverly Hills Modern Renaissance palette. All of these mauve, burgundy, maroon colors, these are my favorite shades I usually go for in a palette. See, I use this guy a ton. Like, the shades are just so beautiful. Do a matte one. They're just, I love them. Like, look at that. They're so pigmented, so blendable, so beautiful. If you guys have not tried this palette yet, it is just, it's perfect. The next palette I'm going to talk about, I only have two, but the next one I'm going to talk about should be no surprise. I'm actually wearing this palette on my eyes right now, and it is the Jaclyn Hill palette by Morphe. She did such a good job on this palette. As soon as I got it, I think it was the main palette I used the rest of the year. I reach for it all the time still. I use it all the time still. There's so many options with this. Whenever I would travel this year, I always brought this palette along. I wore this palette to my rehearsal dinner. I'm wearing this hunter green shade right here with the shimmer in it on the lid. I'm wearing this shade right here on the inner part of the lid, and then I have this in my outer corner. These two as my transition shade, and this in my crease. Love this palette. But this palette is seriously just so beautiful, so creamy, so pigmented, so blendable. I could just go on and on about this palette. So, like, I will just show you some of these shades are, and like this one is just, let me see if I could do this. Like, look at that. It's beautiful. And you barely have to touch this palette to get that kind of pigment. Do this shade right here. Let's see. We'll put that right there. Like, look at that. That's insane. I barely touched that. Yeah, this was easily my most used palette for the second half of 2017. Congratulations, Jaclyn. You did an amazing job. I'm going to talk about a glitter. These glitters are life-changing. The one I do have on me right now is in Diamond Dust, and this is the Stila Magnificent Metals Glitter and Glow. This is a liquid eyeshadow, basically. Oh, this one's so pretty. I'm gonna go ahead and swatch it. I'm gonna swatch it right between these two. Like, look at that. It just looks like melted metal. How shimmery it is. So beautiful. It's so shimmery. I wore this on New Year's and got so many compliments. Anytime I wanted to bring my look to the next level, I would use one of these guys. If I was like, you know what, I'm feeling really extra today, this is what I would go to. It's just, it's a beautiful. Do dry down pretty quick, so I recommend doing one eye at a time, blending it out, and then moving on. But they are blendable before they dry, and then once they dry down, they are there all night, honey. So now I'm going to go ahead and talk about eyeliner. This is my favorite eyeliner of all time. I've talked about it a million times. It was in last year's video. It's pretty much the only eyeliner I use, and it is the Kat Von D Tattoo Liner in the shade Trooper. This is the only eyeliner I ever use. It's the easiest to use, easiest one for me to make wings with. It stays on forever. I love this. For mascaras, my top mascara used this year was definitely the Too Faced Better Than Sex. I finally got a full-size one, and I have been using it non-stop. I was using these mini ones that I kept getting in Ipsy bags or samples at Sephora, but I finally got my full-size one, and this is the only mascara I've been using. It gives them so much volume. It lengthens them. It's everything I could want in a mascara. I love this baby. Moving on to brows, we have two brow products I want to mention. The first is the Benefit Goof Proof pencil. And I love this guy. It's definitely a lot quicker than the Precisely My Brow. I feel like I could use less with this guy than I did my Precisely My Brow. Like, it takes a lot longer for me to go through one of these. It has more of that teardrop kind of triangle shape. So it makes it really easy to just get in there, quick, shape them up, fill them in, good to go. Love this guy. I am in the shade 5 also, in case you were wondering. Another thing that I've been really liking is the Benefit Gimme Brow. I use the shade number 3. I heard that they're discontinuing this. I hope not, because I do really like this. But I always put this on after I put on the Gimme Brow, and it just kind of highlights them, gives them that extra dimension, and also just keeps them in place because it is a gel. So I definitely like this. As you can see here, it has like a tiny mini spoolie, and you just brush them through your brows and you're good to go. Go ahead and move on to bronzers / contour, stuff like that. So once again, this palette has been beaten to hell, so I apologize for the appearance. But my go-to contour palette is still the Kat Von D Shade and Light palette. This is what it looks like. This is my top shade in the summertime. Hence why it hit pan, and I tend to wear a little bit more bronzer / contour in the summertime. Whenever I'm the color I am right now, I always use the lightest shade. I'm actually wearing it right now. I use this middle one all the time, whether it's to brighten under my eyes or to set my lid before I put on eyeshadow. The other bronzer that was definitely my top of 2017, I didn't actually try until around May or June, but it is the Physicians Formula Butter Bronzer. This is just the original one in the shade Bronze. You guys, it smells like pina coladas. It smells so good and it works so well. I love it. It's so blendable. This is definitely my everyday go-to bronzer that I'll use. I always would see Kathleen Lights talking about this, and finally when I tried it I was like, I understand. It's amazing. It's blendable. It's beautiful. Just try it. Next we're going to move on to blushes, and my top 2 blushes this year for sure were the Tarte Amazonian Clay blushes. This one is in the shade Feisty, and this is what it looks like. It's just a little bit more mauve-y, that deeper tone. I love it. It's that nude. And then this one is more of a pinky nude, and it is in the shade Tarte. Watch any of my videos this year for tutorials, you know that these were the blushes that I was constantly using. Moving on to highlighters, and my top, I have 3 highlighters that I used a ton this year. The first 2 are the Smashbox Spotlight palettes. These are the ones that Casey Holmes collabed with them on. I used both of these so much this year. This is the one I'm wearing as highlighter right now, and it is in the shade Pearl. I'm wearing these 2 mixed together. That is my favorite way to go. Like, look at that highlight. Did you see that? Do you see that? It is blinding. It is beautiful. I actually wore a mixture of these 2 for my rehearsal dinner. So this is the Pearl palette right here. It is the lighter one. This is the one I mostly use whenever I'm not tan. The other one that I used whenever I was tan pretty much all summer was this one, which is the gold palette, I believe. Yes. So this is the gold one. I would use this shade mixed with this shade constantly, and I would always get compliments. But I think Casey honestly did an amazing job at both of these. As you can tell, I have used these like crazy, and I just want to say congratulations, Casey. You did an amazing job at creating these palettes because I use them constantly. The other highlighter I want to talk about that I love this year is the Dose of Colors Desi x Katie collab. First of all, the packaging is stunning. It's so shimmery. It's so beautiful. This is in the shade Fuego. You guys, this highlight is so pretty. I'll go ahead and swatch it for you. Do you see this right here? It's just that perfect glow. You can build it up, you can make it extra, but it also gives you a really subtle glow if you just go in with a light hand. It's a beautiful highlighter. It's perfect for my skin tone. I love it. So next we're moving on to lippies, and I have a few to talk about because we know I love a good lip. The first one I'm going to go ahead and mention is the Jeffree Star Velour Liquid Lipstick. This is the one he did with his collab with Manny, and it is in the shade I'm Shook. As soon as I saw them with this color, I had to get it because it was just such a unique color to me. It almost reminds me of like a watermelon-y color for some reason, but there it is right there. It's so pretty. I love this shade so much. Plus, I love this formula. It gives you that matte look without being overly drying on the lips. So, I love that. Next are these little drugstore jewels. They're gems. They're amazing. I love everything about them. And they are the Wet n Wild Mega Last Liquid Catsuit Lips. I love these guys so much. They're totally kiss proof. They last an extremely long time. I have about 8 shades in these now. The one I have been wearing the most by far lately is this guy right here. Instead of showing you all the shades, I'm just going to go ahead and show you my favorite one. And that is the Give Me Mocha. This is the one I have been wearing the most this year by far. I'll go ahead and swatch it for you. So this is the Give Me Mocha shade right here. It's like a mauvey brown right here. Once it dries down, it looks so pretty. It almost has an orange tinge to it, but I love this shade. It is my by far most used for fall and even into the winter months. I've been loving this. The next lippy I want to talk about is the I Love Cerise and ColourPop collab. This is in the shade Arriba, and it is the Ultra Matte Lip. This is the perfect red, you guys. But this is the truest red I've ever worn on my lips. It has that perfect blue tone, so it's super flattering on anybody. It also makes your teeth look extremely white. But do you see that? It is such a stunning red, and it lasts so long on the lips. I love it. And the blue undertone does wonders. It does wonders. So the final lippies I want to talk about are the Tarteist Matte Lip Paints. If you watched any of my videos this year, you know that these were my favorite formula by far that I tried in 2017. I immediately became obsessed. I have so many shades now. I couldn't even find all of them. But I have Cheerleader, which is a beautiful, more pinky red. But on the lips, it just looks stunning. I have Vibin. I wore this in my last makeup video I did for you guys, the New Year's tutorial. Love this. It's a beautiful deeper red tone. And then my favorite that I wore pretty much non-stop, it was the first one I tried. It is in the shade Bestie, and this is what I'm wearing on my lips right now. It's just that perfect nude. It is such a pretty color. I always get compliments on it. All of the Tarteist matte lip paints are completely kiss proof. Let me show you. There is nothing there. Nothing. When I kiss Brayden, he likes them because nothing transfers onto him, and I can eat with these on. They last. It's just, they are amazing. I could honestly go on and on about these forever. Tarteist matte lip paint by far was my favorite formula of 2017 for lips. It's amazing. It's perfect. I'm going to continue to love them. I'm sure I'm going to continue to be buying them. I actually wore the shade Bestie, the one I'm wearing right now, on my wedding day. That's how much I love them. I should have told you guys at the beginning of this video to grab a snack or something because I didn't realize. I knew it was going to be long, but I feel like it's been going on forever. My favorite setting spray this year, no surprise here, it is the Urban Decay De-Slick Makeup Setting Spray. I always notice such a huge difference when I put this on. I definitely am not as oily as I normally am. If this is on top of my makeup, I feel like it does a really good job at just locking everything in. This is the best makeup setting spray for me. And for oily skin girls, highly recommend it. I'm going to talk about our hair care. The first one I'm going to talk about is and I'm going to go quick. The first one is my favorite dry shampoo this year, which was the Batiste Instant Hair Refresh Dry Shampoo. This is for Divine Dark. Anytime I use any other dry shampoos, they always leave that kind of gray white cast over my hair, and I hate that. It drives me insane. But this one is tinted and it is for darker hair, so I never have that problem. And then the other hair product I want to talk about is the Wave Spray. I don't know why, I just love the scent of this so much. It has like a rose smell to it. I'm obsessed with it. It makes my hair look so good every time I use this. I've just bought a full-size bottle of it. So this is the 5 fluid ounces, and I'm so excited. I feel like it's gonna last me a long time. It gives you that perfect wave, and it smells so good. It smells so good. You guys, I was wrong. There's one more thing I need to talk about. I'm sorry, but you're a trooper. You're a trooper if you've made it this far. But I'll be quick. But the last product I want to talk about is a fragrance, because I did have a favorite fragrance of 2017, and it was the Miss Dior Blooming Bouquet. This is the perfume I wore on my wedding day. I just think it smells so good. It is such a feminine scent. It smells so floral. So beautiful. So Miss Dior was definitely my favorite fragrance of 2017. And every time I smell it now, I think of my wedding day. So it's great. Okay, you guys. We did it. We made it through the best of beauty of 2017. Yes, we did. Okay, so I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I know it was a long one. 2017 is a year that I do not feel so bad to say goodbye to. There were definitely a ton of up and downs this year. I felt like it was just like a constant roller coaster ride this whole last year. There's a lot of stuff that went on that was good, but there was also a lot of stuff that went on that wasn't so good. So I'm just ready for a new beginning, a fresh start. I'm hoping 2018 is a good year, and we'll see. The best thing about 2017 was definitely getting to marry Braden. That was like the highlight of my year. So I hope you guys all have a wonderful 2018. I hope you guys all enjoyed this video. If you did, go ahead and give it a thumbs up. If you like this video and you want to see more of my videos, go ahead and click that subscribe button down below. Go ahead and then leave me a comment in the comments of what your favorite product of 2017 was. I'm very curious to try. Or if there's anything you know of that's coming out already or that has come out already that you think I should try, go ahead and let me know that too. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you guys in my next video. Love you guys. Bye.